good morning, and welcome to the Amateur's Edge. This is your co-host A.D. Roberts. Jerrian Sanders is in the house.
Thanks for having me, AD.
And my man Randy is here for sure.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, this is a great week.
It's a great
It's a
week,
great
man.
week, we got all kinds of good stuff going on. You want to talk? Want to kick us off about what our topic is today, man?
Yeah. So today's topic is a very serious one. It's one of those things that discussions that really need to be had, and sometimes we feel a lot of times both sides of the stories isn't told. And I also want to start this off, by saying, you know, each of us in this room today have daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So this topic is very serious. The topic that I'm talking about is sexual assault. And the young man who's going to be coming on the show today is Amir Riep from Ohio State University, who recently just got acquitted of a sexual assault case. And, again, it was one of those situations where Randy actually knows Amir personally and knows what happened. And we felt like this young man's story needed to be told.
Yeah, and so it's a big and dear thing to me. This happened on a campus of Ohio State, but it can happen anywhere. It can happen at a small college or a big college in high school. All that it's super big, and it's still in my heart, man, because Amir's dad, Reese, man, my Reese, Reep, is a very close friend to me, and I still remember the night. I think he called me at like 12:01 that night when the information was about to go public.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept saying to him, "You playing right? You playing right? Though you playing? Why you playing with me? Because he play a lot and I play a lot." And I just remember him. I miss him. That's my guy. And I'm doing this for him. And but let's get into the subject, man. Like my big thing is colleges. What should colleges do when you have a situation with a kid that's legal? So the United States says that you are innocent before proven guilty.
Back up a little bit. When you say a kid that's legal, what is that? What are you saying?
Like doing that has something done to them. Like
They have the age of consensual. They can consent to having sex. That's what you're saying.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying that too. But like anything, if you get into a legal situation, like get into a fight or if you get into any kind of altercation, if you get into something where they say you have done a crime, right? Should the colleges just throw you away, or should they have your back? Meaning, the court says you're innocent until proven guilty, but public opinion supposed to be, but public opinion says you are guilty until proven innocent.
Mm-hmm.
So what should the college follow?
So basically, you're saying should the college support that kid through that whole process and not just throw him out?
Yes, because basically this is what happened. Basically, he was kicked out of school, and the young female was able to go to school, possibly graduate. Like, is it fair?
Mm-hmm.
It's fair because his life is not thrown away, but he's out of school and he couldn't go to any other school.
Yeah, and let's be honest about it too. Those types of things, even though he was found innocent of it, it sticks to him for the rest of his life.
For the rest of your life.
And
for the rest of
it
your life.
follows you for the rest of your life. And it's one of those things, again, that has to be taken serious. Again, we all have daughters in here, and, I'm sure, that's something that none of us want to experience. But at the same time, we have sons, too.
Right. Right. Yeah.
All right. And so my thing is, what should the conversation be as a parent? Because at the end of the day, this thing happens all the time.
13% of all students experience rape on campus. 13%.
13%?
Wow. That's crazy. And that's just and those
9.7% of that's female and 2.5% of that is male.
And that's just the ones that get reported.
That's just the ones.
That has nothing to do with it.
It's a serious thing.
It's a serious thing.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, man, other than finding God and your purpose, a relationship is the next thing that you should have, meaning like a relationship. But parents have to have conversations with kids about like what should they do and not do. Like what should they do and not do. And we're going to talk about this specifically later on in the next segment.
And especially as it pertains to being an athlete. Because let's just face facts. I have a son. He's 13 years old, and he plays pretty okay. So he may play in high school. He may play in may play college ball. So what is the conversation that you have? I mean, you have a son that plays professional sports,
Mhm.
and I'm sure you've had a conversation. Say, hey, man, these are some situations that you can wind up in that you have to be careful not to be in, so that you won't, be subject to certain things.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. And what's crazy, Amir is in Orlando with my son at his bachelor party. You know what I'm saying? And so like, my son's having a good time. Definitely got to be careful. You know,
Gotta be careful.
but you got to have those conversations. Parents are so uncomfortable about having conversations about relationships. Parents are so uncomfortable about telling the bad things they did in their life to their kids. They want to
Mhm.
make it look like a perfect situation, but it's not like that. Like you have to have these conversations, about relationships, man.
And,
Like,
and even in the studio, like right now, you can feel the tension.
Mhm.
It's a tough. This is not an easy segment,
no, it's not.
but it's one that has to be had. When our sons are facing situations like this, when our daughters are could find themselves in this, that's no call. That's not a call that any father wants to get.
At all.
We don't want to get that call. I
Yeah,
mean, why, what would we celebrate in that? So, I guess we'll talk about the outcome and,
yeah.
some of the details behind
And
it.
how you made it through, that's important too.
Right.
I made it
That's
through.
that's huge.
Yeah,
That's
and
huge.
another thing I want to talk about too is the aspect of black and white. You know what I'm saying? We are three African Americans, and my thing is like once you get into that court system, it's different for black and white, and you got to keep
It
it
is.
real.
It is. I mean, I'm with 100%.
Yeah.
My father practiced law for over 30 years.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's a different climate, and that is why, as an African American athlete, you do have to approach you can't have this level of comfort that other athletes may be able to have. Just
Ooh, that's deep.
let's just be honest about that.
So, do you have that conversation with your kid? Do you actually tell your kid that like you have to do more or be more on par than the next person as being black and white?
Man, listen, being in this country, you have to be more on par.
Mm.
The perception that African American young men are more sexualized than anybody else.
Mhm.
That's a reality. That's a prejudice that is out there,
Mhm.
and a perception that's out there. So you have to manage. You have to manage that. When you are a celebrity or you're a rising star athlete, there are decisions that you have to make, and that's on both sides of the token too. Whether you're black or white.
Mhm.
Next week we got a great show that's going that's going to talk about the other side of it.
Definitely.
All
A
right.
little sneak peek on that. I'm sure Jerrian going to drop a little couple dimes for y'all.
Mhm.
But that's just the reality that we're facing, gentlemen.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, you even look at the situation that happened at New Mexico State.
Ooh.
Those
And
kids.
so that trips it out because that's dudes on dudes. So people
Yeah.
think like most of the time when you say rape, you say females, but you wouldn't think. Yeah, you think you say females, bro. Like talk about that Mexico State thing, bro.
Oh, with the basketball team, there was like some basically some hazing situations going on there, and the coaches act like they didn't know about it, and apparently it's been going on for a while, where with some sodomy type issues and
Are
things
you
like that.
serious?
Yeah,
Hazing and sodomy don't
Come
go together
on,
to me though.
this
But
is
I guess
sports. We don't do that kind of stuff.
yeah, I mean, just
it was
over
crazy.
the top,
It was crazy.
over the
It was
top.
over top stuff.
You
Like
know,
look.
Wow.
big time.
Listen, guys, let's pay some bills real quick, and we'll come back and we'll deep dive into this thing. It's really exciting. Listen, this segment was brought to you by Bank of England Mortgage Jacksonville, helping home buyers and homeowners accomplish their financing goals. Head on over to boejacks.com and get to know their dedicated team. You're listening to the Amateur's Edge on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
From the very beginning, 1010XL has encouraged and recognized the accomplishments of local scholar athletes.
Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
We understand today's real estate challenges. With low inventory and high demand, you need a mortgage partner who can help navigate your financial needs. Bank of England Mortgage takes pride in helping clients make informed decisions. From application to closing, every step of the loan process is made in their local branch. For more information, go to boejacks.com or call 992 1000. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England. NMLS 418481. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading Ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker upper.
An operations manager is sought by Exeter LLC in Jacksonville, Florida to oversee business activities to ensure profitability, high performance, and excellent customer service. Supervise and arrange full order cycle. Direct the supply chain and manage warehousing. Liaise and negotiate with suppliers, manufacturers, retailers, and consumers. Requirements are bachelor's degree in business admin or management. Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week. Send resume to Melly Azici, owner Exeter LLC, 4870 Victor Street, Jacksonville, Florida, 32207.
Did you know DuckDuck is the area's go-to plumber? A 5-star Google-rated company, DuckDuck can take care of all of your plumbing repairs and upgrades. Need to switch from septic over to city sewer? Call the Duck. How about water heater repairs and replacement? You're just a duck away, or call away, for DuckDuck Plumbing and Septic Services.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Talk about your team from your team's perspective.
It's the secret of genius.
Mike Tony and E.T. host Daily Jags Insiders from the JOI Studios.
Yeah, well, I believe you've got everybody's attention.
10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
First Coast Cargo is one of the region's leading asset-based logistics and transportation providers. First Coast Cargo has the area's largest fleet, provides final mile services in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia for Fortune 500 companies such as Amazon, Walmart, and Lowe's, as well as specialized or white glove services for FedEx, UPS, and other national logistics companies. First Coast Cargo, headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, with its extensive experience and dedication to exceeding customer expectations, provides transportation, warehousing, logistics, and 3PL services to customers nationwide. Manufacturers, distributors, and purchasing agents know they can depend and rely on First Coast Cargo to be at their side 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit First Coast Cargo at firstcoastcargo.com or call with your transportation or logistics needs at 328-5700.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. The Amateur's Edge. Brought to you by B3 Better on 1010XL. It's the Amateur's Edge. Brought to you by B3 Better on 1010XL.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. You're listening to the Amateur's Edge here on 1010XL, and this is a tough subject, but we want to welcome our guest today. You know, this guy's amazing, Amir Riep. We want to welcome him to the show. He's highly recruited out of high school. Like he's from Cincinnati, Ohio, 4-star athlete from Cincinnati. This Cincinnati native. He got offers from Alabama, Auburn, Florida State, Georgia, Michigan. You know, the list the list goes on and on. This young man is a spectacular athlete, and he's just faced some really tough a tough period in his life that we wouldn't want any of our sons to have to deal with. But it's real. You know, it's what some men face sometimes.
Hey, Amir, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. We got Amir. You got your mentor, Rashawn, I think his name?
Yes, sir. Rashawn Walton.
Rashawn Walton. How y'all doing, sir? Man, before we get into this subject, man, Amir, you down there with Sean at the bachelor party, right? And I just want you to make sure he do the right thing and don't do what his daddy do. don't do what his daddy would do. You hear me? Like, be straight. Y'all enjoy yourself.
Having a good time.
You having a good time? That's good, man. Y'all make sure you're straight, man. But let's get into this topic, man. These last 3 years, man. Like, give us a synopsis of how it's been.
So these last 3 years, they've been real challenging. It's been a roller coaster, mix of emotions. But I just feel blessed and thankful that the truth, came out and I was found out guilty of these false allegations made against me. But it's definitely been a challenging process.
And so, like, what helps you? What helps you get through this, man? Because, like, definitely you was, to me, like, you was ridiculed. You was forgotten in so many ways. And we talk to a lot of athletes, and they go through things just about not playing, but you was not even able to, like, do what you needed to do. So, what helped you get through this?
Right. So my family was a huge part in this during this roller coaster. So my family and also my lawyer, they all stayed by me through this process and was in my corner.
So, this is Jerrian speaking. How was Ohio State during this process? Were they a strong support system for you guys? For you?
At this time, I wouldn't want to, talk anything about Ohio State if that's okay with you guys.
No, we completely understand, man. Again, our goal
Okay.
is for you to tell your story and speak your truth, man. So we definitely
Right.
don't want to put you in
Right.
any uncomfortable situation. So I definitely respect that, man.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem, brother. So, student athletes, especially at a high-profile school such as Ohio State, are always under the microscope. Um,
hmm
what kind of advice would you give to another collegiate athlete who might become victims of false accusations?
The first thing, definitely, never admit to anything that you didn't do. Like I just said, it'll definitely be roller coasters. Definitely deals will be handed to you that at some point if it helps you walk free, you might want to, think about it like, okay, this will let me off. I just say never admit it, trust the process. And if you're innocent, stand on it, and the truth should set you free.
Yeah, a lot of times it will. A lot of times it will. So, Amir, just imagine, because I mean, me and you know each other. So just imagine, like, you talking to a parent and her son, or a parent and her daughter, and so in this situation, it was two guys and one female, and so, like, what would you tell a parent and their son about this situation? Like, as far as, like, looking back, I know you wouldn't have done it again. So that's a crazy question to ask. But what would you tell a parent and their son, or a parent and their daughter, to give them advice about just relationships in college or in high school? Because that's something that's normal. But what would you say?
I would first off say you shouldn't mess around with anybody that doesn't have the same amount or if more to lose as you.
Okay. Okay.
That's first and foremost.
Ooh, that's deep.
So with that, also, I would tell them you should be able to trust that person with your life. 'Cause at the end of the day, that's what, once you get involved with somebody, they, in a way, have your life in their hands. So you should want to trust them with that. And thirdly, is honestly, man, just be a respectful human being. Everybody is human. Treat everybody with respect, such as you would want people to treat you.
That's super deep. That's super deep, man. I definitely think about the talks I have with my kids, which is kind of like out of the way. It's like a crazy conversation or whatever. I always tell them to have fun, but the fact that you say, like, don't be in a relationship with a person that has less to lose than you do in a situation, that's super deep. That's super deep. I appreciate that comment.
Yeah, and that's always hard to gauge as well, because being a high-profile athlete, people practically throw themselves at you, regardless of the situation.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're trying to gauge that on your level, that's extremely hard to be able to do. And when we're talking to these kids, we just have to tell them, be extremely mindful about the situations you put yourself into, because you're going to be put in some very challenging situations, and if things come a little too easy to you, it might not be worth having.
Right. I mean, and let's be real. We've all been to college. College is what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. it's a culture where there's we got athletes, we got good looking young people. People are they wilding out. Let's just be honest. They wilding out. They're having a good time, and you find yourself in these kind of situations all of the time. If you're a star athlete, you're gonna find yourself in that situation all the time. You're gonna have girls that come at you. You're gonna have all kinds of people come at you, and you have to be prepared. So Amir, for a second, if you had to give an athlete, a young athlete getting ready to go off to college, some advice though, as it pertains, and they're a high profile, highly recruited athlete, and they're an athlete that looks like you. They're African American. What do you tell them? What do you ask them to look out for? How do you school them?
First off, I would tell them get the right corner, get the right people in your corner. People that want the best for you, that don't want anything from you, just want you to win. Definitely tell them that. And 'cause this situation definitely taught me who was in my corner and who really wasn't. I was able to clear a lot of things out, but I think that would be a big thing, figuring out who was in your corner, why they're in your corner, if it's beneficial to them, or is it they're really just for you and for your I'm looking for the word.
So
I think,
and I think it's two sides to that too, Amir, right? Because when you talk about having the right people in the right corner, I think the most important people to stay away from are the yes people, the people who always telling you you're doing the right thing and you could do this, you could do that. Like, no, you need people around you telling you no.
Yeah, but sometimes the yes people are your family. Sometimes the yes people are people that you love because, like, sometimes when you get into a high-vis situation, you're really able to see people like that. Like, sometimes it's your family.
And no, there's no argument when it comes to that, but you need to stay away from them. You got to know how to cut some of them people off, right?
Yeah.
You got family members right now that I love them to death, but I got to deal with them from a distance.
Yeah.
And that's the type of game that these older athletes need to tell these younger athletes there. And I'm sure that, they have all kind of people who come into them and talk to them about the different people they're going to be meeting, but they need to understand, like, those people who are always telling you, yes, you're the greatest thing ever, you got to be wary of those people as well because they can poison your mind. And that's the game outside the game.
Yes, man.
So
yes, man.
But hold on though. I want to go back to this real subject though. What is the advice that you give another young black athlete that's coming into a setting like yours, especially when it comes to dating, when it comes to partying and having good times, like every college kid does? How do you how do you do that? What do you tell them, man?
Can you repeat that one more time? So you go in and out.
Okay. What advice do you give a young black athlete that is going into a situation about dating? What do you tell them about partying like most college kids, party? What do you tell him to stay away from? What to make sure that, what he does? What advice do you give him? He's a freshman.
Yeah. I think this is Rayshawn Walton speaking. I'll add a little bit to what Amir stated as far as having the right people in your corner. So for Amir, I know his dad was very monumental in his life and in his career. So when it came to dating, he can always ask his dad, hey, this is what's going on. What do you think about this? Or, hey, this is the situation that's going on. What do you think about this? And that's, a relationship with the opposite sex and a relationship with your friends. So any time that Amir had, and that's situations about football, about dad, should I wait to start or should I transfer and play now? He can always ask his dad. So I think what Amir said as far as having the right people in your corner, and for him having a strong black father took Amir a long way. And I recommend, if it's possible, for every athlete, especially every black athlete, to have a strong black male figure in their life to protect them, because most times they're able to see things that kids can't see. They're able to see friends who aren't really friends. I know situations where Amir's dad was getting hit up every home game, like, hey, can I get free tickets? Over 20 to 30 people asking for free tickets, but when it comes time for trial, we only see 3 or 4 people in support. So it's just little things like that as far as having the right people in your corner, because the right people in your corner will protect your corner even when you're in that boxing ring.
So, Amir, how did that make you feel to see the lack of support in times of difficulty like that? Hello?
No, you was going out.
Okay. Did you hear what I said, Amir?
No, I didn't. It was going in and out.
Okay. So I was asking how did it make you feel to have that lack of support during that time of need?
Honestly, I look at it like this, like it was meant to happen because it cleared out for now that we're back on the other side. I know who was with me, who's really with me, who genuinely cares. So I look at it as it cleared the way, it cleared the path. It took all those cloudy judgments I had on people, didn't know if they really was or weren't. I figured it all out.
Yeah. That's huge, young man. I mean, that's huge to have that type of perspective at that age, and you keep that type of mindset, man, because that's going to carry you a long way. Because a lot, you could have chose to be better. You could have chose to write those people off, which I'm pretty sure you learned how to distance yourself and what corner to put them in or what have you. But I'm glad you took that perspective in that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, we got a little more time left. We got to pay some bills. Is Amir going to be hanging around with us?
He's hanging around, man.
Okay,
we're going to talk about what's going on with him now.
Okay, good.
And what's going to happen. What is his next plans are?
All right.
Let's talk about that.
Good. So listen, guys, this segment was brought to you by First Coast Cargo. First Coast Cargo leads freight transportation and logistics services market and is known as the region's most dependable and highly professional service provider. Contact First Coast Cargo toll-free today at 844-731-2137 for all your professional shipping needs. You're listening to The Amateur's Edge on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
It's a way to add more hours to your day.
You did it!
1010XL talk shows are on demand.
I'm going to start listening to them all the time.
At 1010XL.com. Brought to you by the law offices of Charles Fletcher. Lawyer Up, 904.com.
Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Owen. I'm a cigarette.
Do you like being a cigarette?
No, I don't. Not really into killing thousands of people. Sorry, no filter.
Right.
What's your sign?
Pisces?
I'm a Cancer. Cigarette joke. But seriously, I do cause cancer. And heart disease. And strokes. I could go on forever. Unlike the people who smoke me.
The average smoker lives 10 years less than non-smokers. Quit today. Find out how at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Think mortgage rates are still super high? Think again. Rates have plummeted to 5-month lows. Hey, Prosser here. Call my friends at Loan Pronto now to see how low rates are. It may be time to do that refinancing you've been putting off or time to get back to house hunting. If you're like a lot of people, you have way too much credit card debt right now, and you're getting fleeced with 20+% interest charges every month. Or maybe your current home rate is over 6%. Listen, you can get a quick, easy refi at Loan Pronto, wipe out all those cards, close in about 14 days, and cut your overall expenses by $500 a month or more. Right now, Loan Pronto is doing refis with APRs in the 4s. Call now to take advantage of this big rate drop. Get those credit cards to zero, start that home improvement project, or get out of that 7% loan you were forced into last year. Call Loan Pronto, 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Don't miss the Players Championship March 7th through 12th at TPC Sawgrass. Invite your friends and family to enjoy the ultimate fan experience, complete with bites from your favorite local restaurants and front row access to the PGA Tour's best players. While on site, be sure to visit the expanded PGA Tour fan shop to stock up on this year's championship gear. Secure your spot at the iconic stadium course today. Tickets and parking passes are on sale now at theplayers.com.
Diversity is an important part of our community. 1010XL and Instant Keys celebrate Black History Month by highlighting African Americans who positively impact the First Coast. Instant Keys, fast, reliable, honest locksmith service.
Northeast Florida Safety Council has been keeping Florida safe for 80 years. I'm Dominic Whitley, Environmental Health and Safety Director. What kind of safety culture have you developed at your business? Safety is a saver of lives, limb, and the bottom line. A great safety culture protects your most important investments, your employees and your business, and results in great success. Let us help you develop a successful safety culture. Visit us at nefsc.org and become an elite member today. Again, that is nefsc.org.
Hey, Hickett here. The Borland Groover Foundation proudly presents the annual March to Get Screened 5K race and 1 mile fun run Sunday, March 26th. The race starts at 8 a.m. under the Fuller Warren Bridge. The mission? To raise awareness and prevent colorectal cancer. All proceeds benefit the Borland Groover Foundation, a nonprofit organization devoted to helping the community and saving lives. Visit marchtogetscreened.com for more.
I'm Justin Norndorf, creator of DVS, a medically backed pitching development program designed to develop young throwers' arms safely. We are excited to be launching our Florida Development Center at B3 Better in Jacksonville. To celebrate DVS, we are offering a free virtual coaches clinic and also giving away 20 free team DVS and athletic assessments at B3 Better. To register for the clinic and your team's chance to win, go to b3better.com/DVS and secure your spot today.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. It's the Amateur's Edge, brought to you by B3 Better on 1010XL.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. You're listening to the Amateur's Edge on 1010XL. We have an amazing young man on today. It's Amir Riep. He is, this guy is from Cincinnati, Ohio, highly recruited, 4-star athlete out of Cincinnati, held offers from all the major big boys, Alabama, Auburn, Florida State, Georgia. Everybody wanted this young man at their school and their program. He's an amazing athlete, and he's here with us today. Welcome back, Amir. We're in our final segment of the day, man.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So, Amir, we often talk about triumph and how hardship is ultimately the path to success. Obviously this is a roadblock you'll navigate in life, and we hope you know that you have a whole life ahead of you. Our question for you is, what are you doing today? What's next for you?
So what's next for me is finding a different university to go to first off get my degree, which is very important.
Excellent.
It was very important to my dad and my family.
Yes, sir.
So that would be the
what's
first
your
thing.
major,
And
man?
Also,
What's your major?
sports management.
Okay, excellent. Good.
Yeah, so definitely that'll be the first thing. Then also continue my football career. I currently got 1 year of eligibility left, but I will try to petition to get that second year from the NCAA.
Yeah. You should at least get the COVID thing, man. They take so long with those results, man. What have you learned about your faith and resilience, man, through this process?
I learned a lot. One of the things I told myself during the situation, no matter what news I get, good or bad, just always thank God.
Yeah.
Because he works in mysterious ways. And got 2 wristbands that really got me through a lot. One says, trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is, the roller coaster process of life. Some things are good, some things are bad. Just know it's all happening for a reason.
Yep.
And the other one is lack of worries. And when I think of that is, if you have faith, what is there to be worried about? If you trust in God, you shouldn't be beating yourself up about things that you don't know or you can't control. Just trust that He's putting you in the right place at the right time.
You're right, man. I've been hearing over and over again for the past weeks, anytime something's going bad with you in sports or whatever, just give back and be thankful. So, I've been hearing that from athletes over and over and over. Anytime, just give back and be thankful because you're still in a place that a lot of people want to be at. You still have a chance.
Yeah, and listen. We're gonna open up the phone lines. We're gonna start accepting calls. Anybody wants to call in and ask Amir or ask us a question, you can call in right now at 904-641-1010. That's 904-641-1010.
So you don't have any offers right now?
No, we're still navigating through it. I got a few schools that I'm looking at, but I haven't made a solid decision yet.
All right, for sure.
Gotcha. So, Amir, we all know the media affects public perception and can often increase the likelihood that people on either side will be blamed or disbelieved. How did you deal with the media scrutiny throughout this process?
and I knew one day I'll be able to tell my truth when it was time.
That's huge.
That's huge, man. That's huge. And then, what would you tell to a kid, man? You see all these kids, man, that's so emotional on social media. Like, they so emotional on social media. They show all their feelings and everything that's going on. That kind of sound like me. But, like, it's a lot of kids that do that. What would you tell these kids about being so emotional on social media, man?
I would say take a moment and think before you post. Just don't go off of pure emotion. And everybody that follows you don't follow you. As in, the number might say or the thing might say they follow you, but that doesn't mean they're with you. They're looking for that one thing to take off to help them elevate, even if it's bringing you down.
That's a rap verse, man. Everybody that follows you don't follow you. Is that somebody rap thing, or you just made it up?
And that man just
Say
made
that again?
that up.
You just made that up?
He just made that up. That's not a
Oh,
verse.
that's what I believe. Yeah, I just made it up. Ain't nobody tell me that.
All right, bro. Man, hey, man, you need to do a cipher for real, bro.
That's not.
All right, so hey, Amir, I have the $1 million question of the day for you. Are you in a space where you can forgive your accuser and fully understand that perspective?
We won't. He won't be speaking anything on the accuser for right now.
No, I'm not speaking on the accuser. I'm asking, does he feel like he could at a place where he could forgive or has forgiven?
Yep. No questions on the accuser.
Okay.
For right now.
And I do want this aspect to be known. You know what I'm saying? This young man.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I'm not talking about what he said. I'm talking about what I'm about to say. And so, this young man has not had the opportunity to further his career as far as education and in football. This young lady is anonymous to the public, for one, and she's had a chance to extend her education and keep going to Ohio State. Like, it's a big deal. That's a big deal, y'all.
Definitely.
That's a big deal. What should colleges do? Should colleges like really step back and look at situations and be like, you know what, I'm gonna stand by this.
And now, and listen, yeah, so we can say this. He might not be able to, but listen. So what happens to her now that it's come out that he's been exonerated, cleared of these charges because it was, I'm not gonna say it wasn't founded, unfounded, or whatever, but in the court of law, he was exonerated. So now, retroactively, what should happen to this young lady? Should she lose her ability to go to school at Ohio State, or how does that play? What's going on with that?
But I think but we got to be careful with that simply because when you say that, like, you have to clearly prove that she's lying, right?
Okay.
You don't want to.
Okay, but that's a double standard then. I hear what you're saying, but they didn't do that with Amir.
No, I get what you're saying.
They didn't do that with Amir. He didn't have the opportunity to go to school, and he didn't have a chance to tell his truth.
And
so whether he was lying or not, it's no material of no material, because that's not what happened with her.
But the thought process that goes into that, though, is when that stuff really does happen to a woman, you don't want to discourage her from being able to tell her truth, because she might. Because if that person is found not guilty, who she accused, now she's on the stand, then it changes her whole perspective on if she wants to come forth with that or not. So you got to take that. You got to look at both sides of that, right? So you have to if you think about it again, because we all have daughters, right? If something like that happened to my daughter, I don't want her to have any reservations about telling.
Right.
And if she thinks she might go to jail, if that guy's found not guilty, she's not gonna tell. You get what I'm saying? So that's what you're dealing with when you talk about that subject. Like, you can't, like, I don't want my daughter to be discouraged at all from speaking that truth if something like that happens to her.
So that means that
But if it's clear that she lied.
Okay, so here's for Ohio State. Ohio State should withhold any disciplinary action until the outcome of the trial.
You can't do that because of public opinion. You know how many organizations would be like, well, we're not supporting Ohio State no more because Ohio State supports a possibility rape charge. Like you gotta understand that. But the thing about it is this, like, it's not the same for a regular student and for a student athlete. If it was two regular students and the situation happened, they would make some reservations to have them still be on campus and doing what they're doing. But when you're a student athlete and you're the face of the school, they just take you out there and ship you someplace else and get another person to replace you.
Terrible. That is
That's
terrible.
what they do.
That is terrible.
That is true.
Yeah, that's the issue I have with it. Go ahead, bro.
I think this is just my personal opinion. I feel like at minimum, the names of the accusers should be public because
Yes.
Amir's name has been
Yes.
his name and his
Right.
picture and his image has been on every newspaper, every
At least.
TV,
ESPN.
news station, everything. His name is always out there. His picture, his mugshot is always out there. But the accuser's name, picture, image, background, history, family is never known. And for Amir, like all of his information is out there.
Yeah, gotcha. I think at least the dad's name should be out there.
And his life, and listen, now, even though he's been exonerated, you can't tell me Amir's life hasn't been changed.
And yes,
100%.
He may be a better man after this process.
Yeah, he is.
But he's definitely a different man.
Definitely.
100%. Yeah. So, and what would you say the biggest change has been, Amir, since all of this happened?
The biggest change as in what aspect?
You, your lifestyle, everything.
You said everything. Everything changed. But that's what I said. I don't look at the negative too often. I just try to figure out, it's over, it's behind me, and how to move forward the right way.
And the thing, Amir, bro, like check this out, like really, you still in the game, bro. It's we be having people on the show, right? It's over, it's over, but you still in the game. You know what I'm saying? And I watch your posts on social media. I used to talk to you a lot and stuff like that.
Right.
Man, just keep grinding, bro. You got this, man. I'm proud of you, man. Your dad proud of you, man. And you got this. Just keep grinding. Real tough.
Definitely.
Keep grinding.
And like you said, everything happens for a reason. Anyone who's been successful and can write a book about their life has some type of story of triumph. And, like Randy said, just keep pushing. We know your dad's looking down and smiling on you right now. And, we just wish you the best, man. So, and we want to thank you for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. I love you, man. Hey, y'all have fun down there, bro.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate y'all. Thanks again.
All
right, man. You have a good day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, looks like we have a caller on the line. Caller, are you there? Oh no. Oh, they're done.
Okay.
Oh no, we don't have a caller.
All right, so we still. What's the number again? Tell them the number.
904-641-1010. That's 904-641-1010. If you got any questions for us this morning.
Yeah,
right,
definitely. I wish he could have spoke a little bit more on Ohio State because, again, these are questions and things that parents need to be asking during the recruiting process. Are you going to support my son through thick and thin, or are you going to toss him out to the wood? Because this is one of the most challenging things that a kid can go through. And for them just to wipe their hands with him and not support him in any
And the thing
kind
about
of
it,
way.
he had no other issues. So you can tell a kid that has issues like coming late, being a cancer to the team, stuff like that. He didn't have any issues. Basically, I really think that schools have an internal law that they won't tell parents. I think they have a law about having sex with a person that's on drugs or drinking, and I think they have a law about having sex with multiple people at one time. I think that internal thing that I think the internal thing that schools have could affect everything, and that's a question that parents need to ask.
All right, we got a caller on the line. Caller Papa G or Papa D?
Papa G.
Papa G.
Papa G.
What's up, Papa G?
How you doing, Papa
What's
G?
up? What's going on, man?
Not much, man. What you got for us
Hey,
today?
man, listen, man. I'm a 63-year-old white man, and I grew up on the west side. I went to the old Forest High School over there and played football for them. I had a lot of friends over in Sweetwater and stuff, and the prejudice thing was going on. And listen, Amir, God bless that man. Let me tell you what, man. We're through that day and age of prejudice, man. We need to get over this. I'm seeing commercials on the air for eBay. There's 2 white guys and 2 girls, and you know what? And this is crazy, man. What's going on with this, man? But Amir needs to hang his head up high, man. Hold his head up high and keep pursuing, man. Keep pursuing because you know what? It's hard for the black man to get by these days, man. And I don't have a prejudice bone in my body. I really don't. But unfortunately, the criminal justice system sees that the other way, and it's tough for those guys, man. So back up your family, get your family behind you, get people behind you, and we're going to get through this, man. We're going to get through this okay. And if I was an AD at any university, I'd offer an Amir a scholarship in a heartbeat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
man,
sir.
thank you, man. We appreciate your call. Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate it, sir.
All right.
So just imagine, bro, if it was reversed. So it was 2 white guys who was accused of raping a black woman, do you think it would be the same?
Yeah.
You think they'd be kicked out of the team?
Oh, Duke lacrosse.
Okay.
It was all on ESPN. It was those boys got drugged through the mud. They got ridiculed. They got kicked out of school, and it was a black girl. So it happened. It was on a national level like no other.
Okay.
It was actually more blown up than this situation with Amir now.
And
I
so-
can't believe you don't remember that.
No, I
it
heard
was
about it.
huge.
Yeah,
it was a
remember
huge
that. I
story.
remember that.
It was huge.
So that's again. So athletes, you got to understand. That's our whole thing is giving amateur athletes this edge. When you're going into these big schools and you're top tier athlete, you got to make sure that you are above par on everything that you do. I know it's tough. We got another caller. What's the name?
Watt.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to comment on the you mentioned about the relationship with fathers and sons, and my comment is when I was raising my kids, they're much older now, but one thing I learned to do with the son is to teach him the same principles you would teach your daughter. In other words, if you want your son to respect other girls and so forth, you teach him to respect your daughter, and whatever values you've instilled in your daughter, you instill in your son. You don't make no leeway.
No,
that always worked for me.
No, that's perfect, man. Thank you so much, man. We
And one last thing.
Go ahead.
I enjoyed you guys' show. One last thing. It looks like Amir can make some kind of legal action when your name is defrauded like that. It just seems like there should be some kind of legal.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I probably didn't make so many comments. I think there is. I'm not sure. That's not been confirmed or anything, but I think there's a possibility that there may be some action taken on he and his family's behalf. Because this has changed his life. I mean,
thanks for bringing up a sensitive subject, and
it is sensitive.
You guys handled it with class.
Thank you, sir.
No, we appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. And again, we understand the importance of this, and our goal is to talk about the game beyond the game and what goes on around it. And again, it's important to have these conversations because these young men and young women are going to be put in these situations as student athletes. And as Randy continues to state, it's different for student athletes versus regular students.
It's different. It's different. So do you tell your kids hey, I don't want you doing sex with multiple people at one time?
I mean, stuff like that's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, but you got to be like,
you got to tell them though. You got to tell them.
Tell them what?
Don't do it.
They're not gonna listen to you.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's
you
not
got
true.
to tell them though. Like you say, you got to have the conversations.
You got to
have the
conversations.
conversations.
And that's what's wrong with parents, man. We do not want to have those tough conversations that's going to help our
man,
kids.
as a kid, I wouldn't have listened to that. I'm sorry. I wouldn't listen.
I mean,
I don't know
but
about
as
that,
a parent,
bro. My kids listen to me.
But as a parent, your job is to give them tools to be out here and fight this world.
Before, not after.
Not for
and
sure.
That's the thing about parents, like before. Before. Think of everything that's out there and talk about it before. And that deals with sports and everything. Talk about it before. Like, don't talk about it after. After it's too late, kind of.
Yeah, after it's too late.
For sure.
Too late.
No, that's
like I said, going back to your question, as a parent, do you tell them? Yeah, you tell them. Don't do it.
You have to
be mindful of it. Show them these examples.
The raw and the ugly. The raw and ugly.
And then you got to keep it 100. You can't say what you do now. You got to think about what you did then.
Right.
Be 100 with it.
And I'll say, listen, I know you're not gonna want to listen to me, but trust me, son. Trust me, daughter.
This was gonna happen.
This gonna help you. This will help you stay out of a whole lot of trouble. And see, we have enough examples out there, and and that's why shows like the Amateur's Edge are so important for us to break down this stuff. Life outside of sports, after sports. What are you doing? The whole psychology of it, how you maintain your life. How do you keep your chin up? Because sports consume so much of a young person's life.
Yes.
If they're really, really serious about playing. So after it's done, after the last ball is dropped, this right here is so important, man.
Deflated, man. And then another thing I want to say is parents, I don't care what you think. These coaches do not care nothing about you. This is a job for them. They care.
Are you talking coaches on a collegiate level?
On the collegiate level, they don't care nothing about you. At the end of the day, if your son mess up, guess what they're going to do? They're going to go get somebody else. Quick. Fast in a hurry.
So let me ask you this then, not to cut you off. So as a parent, if that's the approach you're going to take, what advice would you give a parent as far as picking a school for
The
your kid. to go to.
30-second version, 'cause
If you're
we
telling,
got
if
to
you're
wrap
telling me
up.
that at the end of the day, none of them care about my kid, how do I choose a school based on that premise?
Based on everything that's important to you. Everything that's
But
important.
you know
it's
they
all-
don't
it's-
care about your kid though, so that's half the battle because like your kid's important to you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but they gonna
so tell me the other things that they should be. The 30-second version.
The 30-second version?
Yeah.
Basically, what they're going to do for him in football, what they're going to do for him in education, and what they're going to do for him in networking. Networking is actually the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like, real talk.
Beautiful. And they need to make sure that they tune in next week to the Amateur's Edge because we have an amazing topic next week. You know, we're going to talk to the young man that lost his scholarship. Go ahead.
Marcus Stokes is going to be coming on the show.
Yeah,
next
it's
week.
going to be reverse. It's going to be reverse.
It's gonna be a great show. So listen, this segment was brought to you by Bank of England Mortgage Jacksonville, helping home buyers and homeowners accomplish their financial goals. Head on over to boejax.com and get to know their dedicated professionals. You've been listening to the Amateur's Edge on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Bless up.
See you next week.
Yes, sir.